Hey everyone, so let's just quickly jump into the part where we start looking at your Part A employability skills. I know you have started preparing for your IT 402 exams, your AI 417 exams, and your Computer Applications 165 exams. So for these two, आपका जो employability skills है वो valid है. So let's look at the chapters which are going to come in your exam. सबसे पहले तो communication skills and green skills are not gonna come. Self management skills, ICT skills, and entrepreneurial skills are there in your syllabus. Now, according to this, out of the 6 questions, you have to attempt any 4, and out of these 5, you have to attempt any 3. So, if you just do a quick mathematical calculation, it means that either you can attempt these two, or maybe these two, or maybe these two. Similarly, at this point, either you can attempt these two or maybe these two. So basically, you can leave one of these chapters for your board examinations. जिसका मतलब है आप अगर कोई भी एक चैप्टर स्किप भी कर दोगे then also you will be able to get full marks. But I would suggest just they are very easy chapters. You just need to understand a bit. In this session, we'll be covering entrepreneurial skills. So let's look at what we're going to cover today. So entrepreneurship क्या होता है? How does it help the society? Why is it needed? अगर किसी को entrepreneur बनना है तो उसके अंदर क्या क्या क्वालिटीज होनी चाहिए, कौन से फंक्शंस entrepreneur करता है. Some myths related to entrepreneurship. कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि entrepreneurship easy है, कई लोगों को लगता है it's very difficult. So वो जो सब myths है, you need to understand which is right and which is wrong. You can also look at the career in entrepreneurship. What are the benefits? What are the risks of a career in entrepreneurship? अगर आपको entrepreneur बनना है तो. And at the end, we will solve a few practice questions in the types of MCQs as well as 2 marks theory questions. So this is the agenda for today's video. It won't be a very long video because entrepreneurship is an easy topic. Before we begin, if you guys are watching this video for the first time, if you're new to the channel, my name is Akash Singh. I'm an engineer, software engineer by profession. I graduated from IIT Bombay and I also have a degree in artificial intelligence from IIT Hyderabad. So that puts me in a position where I can try to solve your doubts. So feel free to ask your doubts under any of my videos. You can just comment there, or maybe you can also follow me on Instagram where I will be replying to your messages. The handle is Akash7.7. So this is the Instagram username. So let's begin with today's session by talking about Elon Musk. Who hasn't heard about him? If you haven't, let's just say he recently bought Twitter. I think that was a very infamous thing to do. But Elon Musk को हम लोग entrepreneur क्यों बोलते हैं? Let's talk about the companies he owns. First of all, Tesla. They make self-driving cars. SpaceX, इनकी स्पेस एक्सप्लोरेशन ये लोग करते हैं. आप अगर देखोगे इनके जो रॉकेट्स हैं, they send them to space and they also come back. So basically they're reusable rockets. Recently he has also bought Twitter, and there are a couple of other companies which Elon Musk owns or maybe has some part in creation of them. If you move on to India, there is a personality called Mukesh Ambani. We all know who he is. So you might be thinking he has only created Reliance, but Reliance is not a company. It's a conglomerate. So which means Reliance has many parts. If you have heard about Reliance Digital, जहाँ पर आप जाके इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आइटम्स खरीद सकते हो, मोबाइल फोन्स खरीद सकते हो. देयर इज ऑल्सो समथिंग कॉल्ड रिलायंस स्मार्ट, जहाँ पर आपकी ग्रोसरीज मिलती हैं, जहाँ पर आपको कपड़े मिलते हैं. देयर इज ऑल्सो समथिंग कॉल्ड रिलायंस जियो, जहाँ पर आपके नेटवर्क्स क्रिएट होते हैं, जहाँ पर आपको इंटरनेट प्रोवाइड किया जाता है, सेलुलर कनेक्शन प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं, ऑप्टिक फाइबर केबल्स. So all these companies were started by Mukesh Ambani. So he is also an entrepreneur. So do you start to understand what is a common point between all the entrepreneurs? If still not, let's take a couple of other examples. So this is Steve Jobs. He created Apple with the purpose of making the best designed electronic items in the world. This is Larry Page. He created Google. If you've recently ordered from Amazon, you should thank this guy. This guy's name is Jeff Bezos. If you're using Microsoft, या अगर आप PowerPoint यूज कर रहे हो, Microsoft Word यूज कर रहे हो, This guy is Bill Gates. He created Microsoft. And if you still use Facebook, this guy is called Mark Zuckerberg. He created Facebook, and Facebook also now owns Instagram as well as WhatsApp. So these people found out a problem in the world or in the society and tried to solve them. So that is the basic aim of entrepreneurship. लोगों की जो needs हैं, people need things, people want things, and there are some kind of demands. If you can find a way to bridge the gap between the needs of the people and also earning in the same way, then you can be a successful entrepreneur. So जब हम entrepreneurship की बात करते हैं, you only need to remember two things. Entrepreneurship is definitely a self-employment, but it has two aims. First is to satisfy the needs of people, not only needs, but also wants and demands. If you need to understand it in a simple way, you can say that food is the need of every human. Wants में आता है अगर आपको probably rice खाना है या maybe curd खाना है or maybe paneer, you get options. So they are kind of wants. Demands is like आप और थोड़ा दूर जाओगे McDonald's or maybe Domino's. They are not your needs, they are not your wants, but they are actually your demands. You just feel like eating them, so you eat them. So if you are able to satisfy these three things in a society, then you can be an entrepreneur. At the same time, it's not like अगर आप ये जो needs, wants and demands है free में पूरी कर रहे हो. No, you need to make profits. So two things: you satisfy the needs, wants and demands of the society. At the same time, you need to make profits. So that is the basic aim of entrepreneurship. Let's look at an example. So we all might be living in cities, some might be living in towns or villages. Let's take an example of Delhi. Okay, so Delhi is a huge place. There might be a lot of people living in NCR area जिनकी everyday necessities होती हैं. किसी को milk चाहिए, किसी को eggs, maybe onions, potatoes. So around Delhi, there will be a lot of wholesalers who probably sell vegetables, maybe dairy, or maybe wheat, rice. So we call them wholesalers. Okay. Now there are also some needs and wants of the customers which are present inside Delhi. So every day they might be needing some fruits, some vegetables, some other items, right? So with the help of entrepreneurship or some sort of startups like this, the wholesalers are able to connect with the customers and supply their items. जैसे probably early in the morning you need some dosa batter, or maybe early in the morning you need some milk. So wholesalers would provide these items to the customers, but they do not directly provide them to the customers. There are some startups like Zepto, Dunzo, Swiggy, Instamart. I hope you have used them. If not, at least heard about them. So ये जो सब startups है, what they do is they take the items from wholesaler, they store it in their shops or storages, and वहाँ से ये लोग supply करते हैं to the customers. And the best part about all these startups is that आपको जो डिलीवरी है बहुत इमिजिएटली मिलती है. आपको घर बैठे बैठे डिलीवरी मिलती है. यू डोंट नीड टू गो आउट. यू कैन जस्ट स्वाइप ऑन योर फोन एंड जस्ट do the online payment or maybe cash on delivery, but you will get the items at your home without going out. So that is the benefit of these startups. So now you might be thinking, okay, wholesalers are selling the stuff to customers. What is so unique in that? The unique thing is these startups are not only solving the problems of customers and wholesalers, but at the same time they are providing employment to the delivery executives and the other employees who work for these companies. And also at the same time, they are making profits. So this is an example of entrepreneurship where you solve a problem, you help the society, and at the same time, you're making profits. Right? So talking about entrepreneurship and society, you might get a question which asks you, what is the benefit of entrepreneurship? Why are entrepreneurs needed in society? So basically, as we understood, it fulfills the customer's needs. As we took an example of a city like Delhi. So every other city in the world might have some sort of needs. कहीं पे they might need hot items, somewhere they might need cold items. So all these needs are solved using entrepreneurship. Again, how does it help the society is by taking the local materials from the surrounding area. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको import करना पड़ रहा है दूसरी country से या maybe दूसरे state से. The wholesalers, the farmers around the area, उनका जो material है वही use करके जो supply है वो पूरा किया जाता है वहाँ पर, and demands are met. As we said, it definitely helps society. So all these startups, when they start out, they have a particular budget. For example, if you talk about Dunzo, they need to spend around 5% of their annual revenue into green approaches, or maybe some green things like working towards saving the environment, giving some money to build schools and hospitals. So all these startups also contribute to the society in such a manner कि society को help हो. Definitely, they create jobs. We just saw delivery executives, the employees of these companies are getting jobs, stable jobs, employability increase होती है. Also, one more important point that this lowers the prices of products. How does it do it? So we know these three startups are kind of working in the same field. They're delivering items to you. So how does a customer choose that I want to go with Dunzo, Zepto or Swiggy Instamart? So for this purpose, इन सबके पास heavy discounts आप देखोगे कभी भी, या फिर अगर आप membership देखोगे बहुत ज़्यादा benefits मिलते हैं memberships को. So all this competition between these startups helps lower the price of products. For example, if you're getting bananas at 30 rupees over here, so Dunzo will say, so you might get bananas at 29 rupees. So looking at these two, Swiggy might say you can get 28 rupees, you can get the bananas in 28 rupees. So eventually it helps to lower the price of products and eventually benefits the customer. So let's quickly look at these questions. Entrepreneurs can create jobs in the market, true or false? Obviously it is true. We just saw an example. So the reason I took those three examples is, अगर आपको एग्जामिनेशन में कभी भी कंफ्यूजन आए regarding this chapter, just take an example of Swiggy, Dunzo, Instamart. It will help you solve problems in an easier way. So when many entrepreneurs sell mobile phones in a market, the prices of phones increase. We just saw अगर competition होता है market में, so everyone wants to give more discount so that the customers come to them. So basically the price should decrease. So this is false. Entrepreneurs identify a need in the market and build a product or service for it. Exactly, that is right. That's what entrepreneurs do. And at the same time, they want to earn money. So we have discussed what entrepreneurship is, how it helps the society. We also discussed some examples of entrepreneurs. But now we need to see, if you want to become an entrepreneur, what are the qualities that you need to have? Leadership, because you are creating a startup, you're creating a company, and you need to lead all the people. And not only the people, you need to have a vision for the company, so that later on you can say that after 2 years or 3 years, I want my company to become so and so or such a big company. Second is risk taking. Definitely it is 50-50 chance that your company might be successful or it might not. So risk taking is a quality of an entrepreneur. Innovativeness, because you need to be creative. If you're not innovative, you're just another businessman. But अगर आपके business में कुछ creative चीज़ है, if you're solving some specific problem of the consumer, it means that you're innovative. Goal oriented, definitely. Decision maker, you need to take decisions every day for your company, for your business. Highly optimistic means you look forward towards the positive aspects of your work. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप negative हो पूरे time. You're optimistic that your business would work. Motivating people, self-confidence, obviously. Action oriented, you just don't think, you apply that thinking into work. Dynamic agent, high achiever, and trust in self. So out of these, you just need to remember 4 or 5. That would be enough for your examinations. Now let's look at the functions of an entrepreneur. Please remember the difference between qualities of an entrepreneur and functions. Qualities are inherent things. Like a person can be calm or he can be talkative. That's a quality. But what the person does in life, is he a teacher or is he a driver? That's a function of the person. Similarly, function of an entrepreneur means what are the things that he does on a daily basis. He makes decisions, manages the business, definitely, divides the income. Now, your startup might be getting an income, a revenue. Some of the income might be going to pay the salaries, some might be going to buy the items, and some of it would be going into your profits. So you need to divide all that income and decide कौन सा part कहाँ पर जाना चाहिए. Risk taking is the everyday function of an entrepreneur, and creating new methods, ideas, or products. So these are the functions of entrepreneurs that you need to do if you're an entrepreneur. So looking at this question, Ravi's customer comes to his store and starts shouting at him. So he does not get angry. He listens to what his customer is saying. Obviously, not hardworking, not confident. He's patient. Sushila decides to sell her company tires in Sri Lanka. It does not sell and she has a loss. She apologizes to the people who work for her and says that she will plan better next time. So what does she do? She's creative? No. Does not give up? Not actually. Thinks before making a decision? Definitely not. But A would be the right answer. Takes responsibility for your mistakes. She has committed a mistake because of which other people suffered, and she's taking responsibility for that. So Ali has a diamond factory. He pays his employees on first of every month. Now what is he doing? Creates a new product, takes risk, manages the business. So that's the right answer. So I hope you're understanding all the parts till now. If you have any queries till now, you can definitely comment under the video. I'll be able to help you there. Mary buys bulbs for a business from Noida. Okay. She learns that bulbs are cheaper in Faridabad. So she decides to start buying bulbs from there. What did she just do? Did she take a risk? No. She already knows that bulbs are cheaper in Faridabad. Does she divide the income? No. She's making a decision to change her supplier. Rehnuma has two people who work for her. Every day, she spends an hour with them to learn about what they've done that day. So what is she doing? Creating a new product, dividing the income, or managing the business? She's managing the business by talking to her employees and deciding if they're doing a good job or do they need some help. Okay, so now since that part is over, we can start talking about myths of entrepreneurship. Now, myth is generally a misconception. Generally, it is a false belief or opinion about something. So you might believe a lot of things, but not all of them are right. So the things which are not actually right are called myths. So some myths can be like this. People think that being an entrepreneur is easy. Some people think that it's difficult. So they are the myths. No one knows the reality there. Some people even think that they're not meant to be entrepreneurs. They cannot be entrepreneurs. उन्होंने बचपन से पढ़ाई नहीं की, that's why they cannot become entrepreneurs. All these are actual myths. So in order to solve the myths, we need to know the reality. And even in your examinations, you might get a question, what are the myths surrounding entrepreneurship? It is a very important topic. So talking about myth 1 or misconception 1, it is that every business idea needs to be unique or special. It is not the case. दुनिया में बहुत सारी कंपनीज है जो सेम ही काम करते हैं, सिर्फ उसमें माइन्यूट डिफरेंस ही होगा. जैसे आप देखोगे अगर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, IBM, गूगल, Oracle, these companies are basically into electronics domain. जनरली सेम काम ही होता है, कुछ कोई चिप्स बना रहा है, कोई मोबाइल फोन्स बना रहा है, बट इवेंचुअली जो स्पेशलिटी है इनकी वो हल्की सी डिफरेंस है. सो इट इज़ अ मिसकंसेप्शन दैट एवरी बिजनेस आइडिया नीड्स टू बी यूनिक. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट Zomato, Swiggy, they do the same thing, just that उनके थोड़े USPs अलग हैं, जो सेलिंग पॉइंट है उनका थोड़ा डिफरेंट होता है. मिसकंसेप्शन 2, that a person needs to have a lot of money to start a business. It is not the case. Every business is different in nature. You can start with 10,000, you can start with 10 lakh. It is different for everything. So, in this misconception or myth, you need to understand that when we start taking money from people or invest our own money into a startup, that is called the capital. So capital is quite important because it helps you jumpstart your business, but in not all cases you need a lot of capital. Okay, you can uh, depending on the size of your business, you can start small, maybe just 5,000 rupees if you have a very small startup, or maybe 50,000 rupees. And when you start getting the revenue, you can reinvest that profit into your company itself, and slowly and steadily you can start building your company. Misconception 3 or myth 3 is that we have is only that person, sorry for that, only a person having a big business is an entrepreneur. So not that case. If you go to your local market, you might find dozens of entrepreneurs who are making small things by themselves and selling them. For example, you might see tailors creating clothes. You might see cobblers who are creating shoes. You can see other people who create small items and sell them off. So it is not necessary कि आपका business international होना चाहिए या फिर national होना चाहिए. It's just that whatever you create, you are making a profit out of it and there is a demand for it. Misconception or myth 4 that entrepreneurs are born and not made. Again, a very big misconception. Entrepreneurs have to make decisions every day and it is not like या बचपन से ही सीख रहे हो ये सब. You need to have knowledge, that is a good point, but it is not the talent, it is the internal ability to take decisions, to take risk, as we discussed in the qualities of entrepreneurs. These qualities can be made over time. It's not necessary कि आपके पास बचपन से ये qualities हो. So this is a myth. So now we have discussed the myths. I hope you understand what are the myths associated with entrepreneurship now. Let's talk about a career in entrepreneurship. So a career is definitely a line of work that someone takes to do for the rest of their lives. Some people are scientists, some people are race car drivers, some people are footballers. So there are two types of careers. First is self-employment. Basically, you're earning profits from the thing that you're selling and paying yourself. आप खुद को ही payment कर रहे हो. That means you are self-employed. And the second type is wage employment, where you work for someone else and they're paying you the money. So examples can be doctors, footballers, etc. So now that you know the difference between two types of careers, what do you think entrepreneurship comes under? Are entrepreneurs self-employed or are they wage employed? So definitely they are self-employed because they make profits and they pay themselves as well as the employees working for them. So what are the advantages of entrepreneurship and what are the disadvantages? So basically entrepreneurship gives you a freedom, gives you a choice that where you want to work. You will be filled with excitement when you work for a particular thing that you like. You can create a lot of wealth as you're not dependent on the fixed salary that you're getting. Your business can have 50,000 profit in a month or 50 crore profit in a month. There is no bar and there are no limits, but it can also be negative. So that's why there are some disadvantages also, जैसे risk. Hard work is basically not a disadvantage, but it is something that we need to do in life. Financing problem, as we discussed, capital collect करना होता है. If you have the money, then well and good. But you have to ask other people for money, ask the investors for money, and that is kind of a disadvantage. And the income is also uncertain, as we discussed here. Profit can be plus 100% or minus 100%. So the income is kind of uncertain, but if you know what you're doing, if you have studied well, if you take good decisions, your income can be certain and in profits. So anyone who wants to start entrepreneurship or maybe start working on a startup, there are 3 stages of their company. The first is definitely you enter the market with the aim of nothing but to survive, because there are hundreds or maybe thousands of other businesses as you. So during the survival period, you need to wait for a couple of years. You just need to survive on the bare minimum. You need to continue selling your items. You need to continue your business. And slowly and steadily, when this number reduces, as most of the businesses would cut down, they would stop. And if you do not stop, eventually you will reach a phase where you are only of the top few which are left, and then you can start growing your business. All right, so this was about career in entrepreneurship. You need to remember these things, that everyone has to learn and practice before becoming an entrepreneur. No one is born an entrepreneur, and neither a lot of people who have studied entrepreneurship were good entrepreneurs. So you need to learn and practice. If you believe in an idea, if you have an idea what you need to do, don't worry, just start your business. And also that entrepreneurship is a very risky thing, but till the time you do not try it, you would not understand it. All right, so with this, we have completed the theory part of it. Let's jump into the 2-mark questions which can be expected for your board exams. Contribution of entrepreneurs in execution of government policies. So entrepreneurs play an important role with the government. If you talk about Mukesh Ambani or maybe Elon Musk, they both contribute to the government policies in their respective nations. So they actually cooperate with the government for achieving the national goals, such as kitne economy kitni improve honi chahiye, or maybe how are they creating the jobs, and so on. What is entrepreneurship development? So right now what we are studying in this course, part A, employability skills, it is basically entrepreneurship development, as we are teaching you guys to improve the knowledge and skills to become entrepreneurs. Also there are some other programs, national programs, which help the entrepreneurs, जिनको entrepreneurs बनना है, उनको पढ़ाई करवाते हैं, उनको organization skills सिखाते हैं. They also give them the capital to start their own ventures. What do you mean by the term entrepreneurial skills? So this is the answer that you can directly write. Also, these answers are not absolute, which means different people can have different answers. So you might say some other point. So, but what you need to remember is that every entrepreneur who's starting a business need to have a knowledge for what the business is starting, also to successfully run a business. So all these skills are necessary and known as entrepreneurial skills. Explain the risk-bearing characteristic of an entrepreneur. We have discussed this, but there is a period when you start and when you grow. The middle period, as we saw, it was survival, right? So it is kind of a risk. Maybe you will get to the other side, or maybe you won't. So that's a risk that you're willing to take, but you need to be patient about it. Explain the quality of an entrepreneur as a passionate person. So all the entrepreneurs are very passionate because they like what they're doing and they're doing what they like. So they will definitely put in extra hours. It won't be like they're working only 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. No, they're putting a lot of hours, maybe 15 hours, 16 hours, not because they need to, but because they like doing that. State the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman. So basic difference which you need to remember is entrepreneurs do things differently. They make unique ideas, or they make the concept a bit better. A normal shopkeeper who just buys and sells items can be called a businessman, but a shopkeeper who's providing some extra quality to their customers, maybe some kind of home delivery, or maybe some homemade items, that can be called as an entrepreneur. What is a business plan? As the name suggests, if you want to create a business, अगर आप कोई business start करना चाहते हैं, you need to have a plan first. You need to study the market. आप कौन से मार्केट में जा रहे हैं? आप ऑटोमोबाइल मार्केट में जा रहे हो, मे बी आप वेजिटेबल मार्केट में जा रहे हो, क्लोथिंग मार्केट में जा रहे हो. सो यू नीड टू हैव अ प्लान दैट हाउ यू कैन एंटर दैट मार्केट. आपको क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स फेस हो सकती हैं, हाउ विल यू बी एबल टू सॉल्व दैम. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स कम अंडर द बिजनेस प्लान. How does an entrepreneur promotes economic prosperity of a country? So first of all, they create employment, which in turn employs a lot of people and they're able to spend a lot of money. Basically आपकी जो economy है slowly and steadily cyclically बढ़ती है. They create wealth in the country by getting more profits from outside the country as well. And they also reduce the cost of products. So basically, a lot of people are able to afford the products which they were not able to do earlier. Why an entrepreneur is highly optimistic? He needs to be optimistic because, first of all, he's taking a risk. You cannot go taking a risk with a negative aspect. You need to be optimistic. And he's definitely not disturbed by the current problems that he's facing. He knows if he takes good decisions, if he has studied well, knows a lot about the market, he will be able to solve those problems. So that's why he is always highly optimistic. Explain the role and significance of entrepreneurs. You can refer to the notes. We have already discussed that. We've also discussed the myths of entrepreneurship. Define an entrepreneur. We defined the entrepreneur at the beginning. So 2 points to remember: a person who satisfies the needs, wants, or demands of the society, and at the same time makes profits in that. Do you think an entrepreneur is innovative by nature? Yes, an entrepreneur needs to be creative because everyone can be an entrepreneur if they are not creative. But creativity is what defines entrepreneurship, else you're just a businessman. All right, so again, the same question. We'll jump onto the MCQs now. Innovation of an entrepreneur includes division of work, opening new markets, introducing new products, or both B and C. So yes, new markets and introducing new products. Maybe you were in the food market first, but you now switch to commodities market, जहाँ पर आप probably shampoo and soap sell करने लग गए. Which of the following is a disadvantage of entrepreneurship as a career? We discussed at the end that there is a lot of uncertainty. It might be that you might not be successful or you are successful. Which of the following does an entrepreneur perform to achieve his goals? Advertisement and publicity, right? Appointment of selling agents, definitely. So C, both A and B is the right answer. In which situation an entrepreneur will not be able to convince his fellow beings? If she is obviously low self-confidence hoga, so he or she will not be able to convince others. Incompetent staff means the staff is not experienced, they are not qualified enough. How does an entrepreneur get the work done from his or her team? By creating a spirit of teamwork, yes. By motivating them, yes. So this is the right answer. Obviously, you don't have to use harsh words and actions. Which of the following is or are the functions of an entrepreneur? So functions may decision making, risk taking, innovation, all three. Advantage of entrepreneurship as a career. Risk is not an advantage, hard work is not an advantage, but independence is an advantage. Decision-making function of entrepreneur includes hard work, risk-bearing, utilization of financial resources. So yes, you need to understand how जो आपका revenue आ रहा है, how do you need to divide it for profits, for salaries, for investment, and so on. An entrepreneur has to get the work done through others. Which characteristic of the entrepreneur does this statement depict? Motivator, organizer, innovator, none of these. So in order to get things done from others, you need to motivate other people. So this would be a right answer. Which of the following characteristics should an entrepreneur have? Innovativeness, motivator, goal oriented, obviously all of these. So now have you started to understand what are the common themes present between all these questions? ऐसा नहीं है कि एक question दूसरे से बहुत ज़्यादा different है. You just need to understand what are the functions of an entrepreneur, qualities, advantages and disadvantages. All right. Rehnuma has two people who work for her. Every day she spends 1 hour with them to learn about what they have done that day. This means she is creating new product? No. Divides the income? No. Manages the business by talking to her employees. Which of the following is true about entrepreneurship? A lot of money is needed. Obviously, we're talking about myths, so this is a myth. Entrepreneurial ventures are mostly successful. So it is also a myth because most of them actually fail. Entrepreneurial ventures are easy to start. So again, they are not easy to start. You need to decide between mostly successful, end up as failures. So this one would be the right answer, and this is wrong. Because if you see, if in a year thousands of ventures are started, but only 6 or 7 of them are successful. So which means most of the ventures end up as failures. Which of the following is the main aim of entrepreneurship? Earning a profit. Yes, we discussed two things: profit बनाना होता है and providing innovative products and services, or maybe solving the demands of the society. So this is the answer. Mary buys bulbs. Okay, so this question has already been done. So with this, we have finished the entire chapter of entrepreneurial skills for part A. Upcoming videos will be on ICT skills and self-management skills. But this is an important chapter, so I hope you revise it correctly. If you like the video, please do not forget to press the like button. You can share it among your friends. If you have doubts, you can obviously comment. I'll be coming back with another video. Till then, stay awesome. Bye-bye.